Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my wonderful listeners. My name is Dr. Oscar Baishimori, a personal development and life coach that specializes in sharing information, strategies, philosophies, and life skills that empower you to live above mediocrity in every area of your life in order for you to live sustainably. Today, I want to share with you, in continuation with what we did last on the hierarchy of values. Yes, we listed hierarchy of values, most especially when you know that there are only two reasons why you do what you do. Whatever you do today, you do it in order to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. And you link pleasure to certain values, some values which were listed in our last episode. Today's episode is going to be on the hierarchy of some painful emotions that you do something to avoid. Yes, there are some painful emotions that I want to list here. For instance, rejection, frustration, loneliness, guilt, embarrassment, humiliation, anger. All these are painful emotions that you do something to avoid. And don't forget, people do much more to avoid pain than they will do to gain pleasure. So in this hierarchy of painful emotions, there are some of them you will do everything to avoid more than the other. And when you are confronted with one or two of them, there are some you will embrace in order to avoid some other ones. And most time, when you can only avoid one of them, let me suggest to you, for instance, amongst these three emotions, for the purpose of our time, rejection, loneliness, and frustration. Which of them, if you only have choice to reject one, which of them will you reject most among them? And now, let me come to the reason why many people are poor. And you check yourself. If you are very poor, if you are struggling to pay your bills, if you have the opportunity around you and that you cannot embrace, let me show you reasons. Peradventure, this will be helpful to you, will make you navigate your life to another level. Now, if you're somebody who wants success, of course, I know everybody will tell me that I want success. I want to be successful. There is this source of self-sabotage that you embrace in your quest for success. For instance, if you want to be successful, you have to embrace rejection. Yes. Because if you want to avoid rejection and you want success, you are not going to succeed for a long time. Because these emotions, they cohabit together. Rejection and success, they live in the same room. If you want success, you have to risk being rejected. What do I mean? There are many times what you put forward that is valuable, that is needed in the marketplace, it's not going to be to the understanding of majority. They are going to misunderstand your intentions, and therefore they will resist it or reject it. You have to embrace it. It's part of the journey to success. So rejection and success live in the same room. They cohabit. So you have to embrace rejection. In the same way, frustration. Frustration in itself is a signal that tells you that the strategy you are using is not working. Especially you get frustrated when you try one or two things and you are not getting results. What frustration is saying is that the strategy you are using is no longer working. Change your strategy. It's like a caution sign. And the same way, if you don't want to be embarrassed, you are not going to try a new thing. And if you say, I hate embarrassment, you are not going to be successful, at least in the long term. The reason is this. There is no way you can learn enough and not to do before you perfect it. The best way to get something done well is to start doing it. And one thing about emotion of embarrassment is that you are going to not get it well. Don't be a perfectionist where I know somebody who has been sharpening, you're like a farmer who has been sharpening his cutlass, and he never tried to cut once. He's developing his production capacity without producing. Every day you are developing your tools without using the tool to work. And it is when you try to put the tools to work that you will know that there is no study, no enough research or study that can make you an excellent performer without trying to do something. And that's why embarrassment must be embraced. You have to make the mistakes in the journey. And that is the part of it. The mistakes is part of the journey. For those who don't want to make mistakes, they are no longer going to be successful. That's why they say mistake is learning. That's the learning curve. So you want to avoid embarrassment, you want to avoid rejection, you are not going to be successful. You have to embrace them. So there are painful emotions you must embrace if you need success, at least in the long term. Thank you for listening. And if you are watching us on Facebook, follow us on our Knowledge Center group page on Facebook. We are on Instagram, Knowledge Center group. On YouTube, is Oscar by Ishimori. You can just follow us and subscribe to our informations so that you can always be part of our success story. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.